bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
right here, you get an insight and you know something, but you don't want to say it out loud because you're kind of afraid that it's not going to be really true and it'll spoil the whole thing for you, But when somebody makes you say it, then, and it's true, then it just makes it more beautiful of a thing.
Memories. Memories.
back. It's a brand new season of CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step to a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss.
Look who's starting it all off. It's Raven. No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through from Peyton. It's just going to solidify everything for Mythos.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
SKT, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Lores, you're going to be able to find these shots true.
Inu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes an Anvil and immediately goes back like fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2, 3, still back and forth.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to CGL, where tonight we have a great matchup here in the Diamond tier against 2 teams that might not have had the best of luck in that first part of our season here. Both of them coming in here winless at the moment, but one team will leave this season or this game with 1 victory here tonight. We are seeing Oops All Vibes take on the Falcons of Bowling Green State University here. I am Dextron. That is Shadowfang. Shadow, how are you doing here tonight, man?
I mean, I'm doing pretty good. I'm honestly looking forward to seeing what these 2 teams are going to have to offer us here tonight. I mean, honestly, both of them have had some pretty tough schedules so far. Oops All Vibes in particular, they've played 3 of the undefeated teams in this tier out of their first 4 games. I mean, that's kind of just an unlucky draw. They could turn right around and end up 4-4. You know, we'll have to see. I haven't looked at their schedule, obviously, but you know, getting that tough of a draw on the first half of the season, you know, there's still some chance here for these teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe Bowling Green is exactly the same. Kind of play those really good teams, a lot of those teams that made the midseason playoff here. So the Oren 4 record is not necessarily something that they are wanting to see, but it kind of makes sense with the opponents they are going up against tonight. But what a way to right the ship here and start your path to making the end of season playoffs with a victory here tonight. But Shadow, I mean, we do know what our map set will be here to get everything going. First off, it'll be Nepal, followed by Hollywood and Esperanza are our guaranteed maps tonight. If needed, New Junk City and Circuit Royale will be maps 4 and 5. And if we somehow get a tie, it will be a control map that will be our 6th map no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good map pool this week. You know, a lot of maps that we just haven't seen at all yet, which I really, really like. You know, getting some more diversity here towards the end of the season. And I mean, you can play so many different compositions on these maps, from like dive to rush to, especially on Circuit Royale, you can play poke. You know, Esperanza, you play a lot of dive. Like it's such a wide variety of compositions we'll probably be seeing here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. But we know what our map pool is. We know we're going to be heading to Nepal here first. So why not head on over to the hero bands to get everything started here. Bowling Green going to have the first band here of the night. And Shadow, it normally seems with these first bands, you see them go after a tank or a support. The DPS character is kind of left out to dry. But I mean, it kind of makes sense when you look at the tank, how strong the tanks and supports are at the moment.
No, absolutely. And if you don't know that much about the other team, then I think this is the map where you just ban something you don't want to see on this particular map. Like, I don't think a Pharah ban would be a bad shout here if you don't want to deal with a Pharah. I don't know if that's going to be what comes out by any means. You know, Symmetra's never a bad ban on a map like this. Kiriko coming out early as well. You just don't want to see the Kiriko. Okay, that makes sense to me. And now with Oops All Vibes, that means they're going to have to ban either a tank or a DPS here. So I think those things I just said still kind of apply here. They could go for a Malga even. You know, people really don't like playing Malga as or against Malga. So, you know, that could come out too.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at these team sheets, I mean, it seems like for Oops All Vibes, they have one tank player, or they have two tank players, one who definitely likes to play Wrecking Ball and one who likes to play Sigma here. I mean, you have a decent amount here. There's a couple of flex characters on this team that do have tanks listed, but no, it's actually gonna be Bastion that comes out here first. So interesting bans from both sides here. The Kiri makes some sense, but Bastion, normally don't see him banned out this early on, especially on Nepal.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the thing I was just talking about a minute ago. Oops All Vibes doesn't really know what BGSU likes to play like that, so they're just like, I don't want to deal with a Bastion. I don't want to see a Bastion. Get it out of my face for this map. We can determine what BGSU really likes to play, and then base our future bans off of that on the future maps.
Yeah, absolutely here. But these two teams, I mean, we know from Bowling Green and from what their team sheet kind of tells us. Oh, speaking of, actually, here's the Oops All Vibes roster to get everything going here. Cha-Cha Slide and Strider as your DPS, Zach as your tank, Fran and Log as your support line here. And Shadow, we were talking about this before the series or before the stream got started here. This Oops All Vibes team was a team that really came alive late last season. We kind of expected to be the same case here this season, but they need to right the ship now.
I mean, I would not be surprised at all if Oops All Vibes came out really, really strong tonight, just because, like I said, they had to play 3 of the unbeaten teams that are still unbeaten in this tier right now. So that is a tough draw in your first 4 weeks. So don't be shocked if Oops All Vibes comes out firing on all cylinders now. You're down 0-4. You have to win. You basically have to win the rest of your games if you really want to have a realistic shot at making the playoffs.
Yeah, but to the other side, their opponents from Bowling Green State University. You have Fresh and Mr. Joker as your DPS line, Fatal Turtle as your tank, Kira Wolf and Jimbo as your supports here. And Shadow, much like their opponents here tonight in Oops All Vibes, Bowling Green went up against, I believe, the top 4 teams in that mid-season playoffs in their first 4 matches.
Yeah, like I said, it was just a tough draw. And it was tough to get a read on BGSU it was tough to get a read on either one of these teams because of that, because their matches were just going so fast. You couldn't really tell what they liked to play, what they wanted to do, the tempo at which they wanted to play. So I think neither one of these teams really know each other that well just yet, and that's why the bans seem kind of generic in a sense, or random almost.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, like we said, they've gone up against some really tough competition here. This is kind of the series where everything kind of comes back down to earth for them. Should be even across the board. I really do believe that. So one of these teams is going to come out here with their first victory of the year and start their path to the playoffs here tonight. The other one will still have to search for it, but I still believe these two teams have a lot to show us in this season. Still 4 more games left for both of them here, and I do not believe they're going to end the season with 0 wins for either of them.
No, definitely not. And, for one of these teams at the very least, that's going to start tonight. And I expect this to be a very close and competitive series. Again, just based on the first 4 weeks with both of these teams, they've both played about the same so far.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the actual website here, these two teams are in the top 3 most hardest schedules they've played so far up to this point here, sitting 2 and 3, I believe, there. So they've had a rough go early on, but this is a time where you can kind of come back down to earth, like I said, and start playing against teams who maybe had the same kind of fate as you in that first half of the season, struggling against those top tier teams. But right now, it's time to get this series going.
And it looks like Oops All Vibes is going to go for a classic Reinhardt comp. They're going to go for some Ana Lucio, though. And, that makes sense. Ana's pretty strong right now. That is asking a lot of your Ana to be able to keep all those characters up at once, though. So we will have to see how that works out going up against a dive from BGSU.
But Cha-Cha Slide here on the maze actually going to, I think, help out their support line here a little bit. If you do see Fatal Turtle dive a little bit too far back, but you see him instead dive for point instead, just giving up that high ground already to Oops All Vibes. Fresh trying to get these off angles, but I mean, I like how Oops All Vibes is playing this nice dive back out there from Fatal Turtle. Point is open though, but Fatal Turtle going to be the first one to fall here, and this is not what you were looking for if you were the Falcons. The boop off the map right there, and that should basically lead to Oops All Vibes capping the point here first, but it looks like they're kind of trying to find some more blood here.
No, absolutely. They're going to take that cap, like you were saying. That's a nice wall coming out from Cha-Cha Slide. Should be able to get the kill onto Mr. Joker, but Fresh getting Fran in the process means there's going to have to be a retreat here from Oops All Vibes.
Yeah, I mean, you just lost your main support there at the moment, your main source of healing. Yeah, you saw the Lucio there, but Log can only do so much. Zach looking a little bit worse for where the jump on there. Not going to be able to find them just yet. The Tesla gun not doing much there either. Fresh trying to get rid of Log right there, but they actually invest the beat into this fight. They keep themselves alive, and I like that there from them. It allows Fran time to get back, especially with Strider finding Jimbo out, but eventually Zach will fall. But oops, all vibes. This is exactly how you want to start off this series. Fatal Turtle will find one. That should be the only thing they get this fight.
Oh, that is a tough fight to lose if you're BGSU. You got the early kill you needed on the Fran, but your team was not able to push in fast enough to really take advantage of the fact that you got those kills. And now you're stuck here with the sound barrier did come out. Now you're seeing Log swap over to the Brigida. A little bit more sustain, a little bit more healing available. But now you got to watch for this Blizzard from Cha Cha Slide because that's going to come out soon.
Well, there's the Blizzard right there. Looks like everyone going to be able to get out of its radius. You do see some members of Bowling Green just not in the right spot right there. Fatal Turtle has to use the Primal Rage to keep himself alive. Jimbo will find one, and Fatal Turtle going to be able to send Strider down into the pit of despair right there. This is the Bowling Green team that we've been waiting to see all night, or all map long so far here. A dominant team fight win, only investing one ultimate as well.
It's really good that they only had to use that Primal for that fight. Oops All Vibes still has the Nano available. Shatter coming online as well for Zach. Shatter's going to be tough to get value out of. You really have to just kind of pick one person and go after them if you're Zach here. Otherwise, if you try and get a massive Shatter, these characters have way too much mobility for you to be able to secure more than one person, I think.
Yeah, I think you're going to try to find Fatal here on the dive, but Fresh going to be able to find Log out there early on. Mr. Joker has to use that dash to get themselves to safety. The Nano being invested here now onto Strider as they look to try to find anyone with their Deadeye, but everyone on Bowling Green just playing around corners right now that will allow Oops All Vibes to get onto point. There's kind of big commit there from Bowling Green. Bob is out there from Fresh, but being denied by the Ice Ball at the moment. Strider will find Joker there, but still, it's anyone's fight at the moment. Fatal trying to do what they can here. There's a Shatter there onto Fatal, but Zach will be the one who falls. Fatal, though, will be following them to the grave just after that. But right now, Bowling Green has Oops All Vibes kind of trapped in that small room. Kirolf going to be able to res Fatal right back into this fight, but you do lose your Mercy because of it here. You're going to be able to trade out onto Fran, though. Fresh on this off angle, starting to be pressured out a little bit by Strider, but right now, Bowling Green doing everything they need to do here to hold on to this point.
They're doing a fantastic job. Log taking down Mr. Joker, though, is going to make it tough for them to continue holding this, and there goes Fatal Turtle as well. Oh, that is a tough way to lose that fight out. And now, if you're Oops All Vibes, you're probably just going to go aggressive into their spawn because, I think if you can get a really sick Blizzard off on them as they try and engage here into this next fight, that would pretty much seal this point for you.
Yeah, and honestly, the Blizzard might be used to cancel out that orbital ray that Jimbo has here now. Blade ready for Joker as well. You do see the touch come out, but there is the orbital ray. Blizzard going to be invested. Same thing with the rally coming out there from Log. Strider going to be able to find one, but that's the only thing that the Oops All Vibes has found so far. The Blade going to be able to slice through two members right there. Going to be able to help clean up Zach. Log taken out. And this is actually just a really good fight here for Bowling Green. You do get Fresh back into it here. So they're going to be able to play up here a little bit.
And BGSU does a really good job there in that fight. Oops All Vibes, they only have the Deadeye available to them, and with, like I said, with the mobility that all these characters have for BGSU, they should be able to get out of the way of it before something happens. So it's really going to be on Fatal to get some good value out of this Primal here in this fight.
Cha-Cha Slide going to be able to get a touch right there. Strider does have that Deadeye ready to go here. That could be a good zoning tool here if they absolutely need it. The anti thrown out on the Fatal. They're going to pop the Primal Rage almost instantly once that happens. Find Cha-Cha Slide. Find Log out as well. Fran finds one. Strider going to be able to trade out. So even all across the board right now, Strider did actually invest the Deadeye. Not going to be able to find anything with it right there, but they don't need the Deadeye. They're still finding picks on their own here. All the healing now going over here towards Mr. Joker, but it's going to be Kira pulling out the pistol. Going to be able to find them right there, and that should be Bowling Green taking our first point of the night.
Oh, and like what a great use of that Primal Rage there by Fatal Turtle. Forces out the ice block from the side of Oops All Vibes, and then immediately just pops the Primal as soon as they see two characters that they know they can just pin in a corner there underneath in that tight location. Make the Primal as easy as possible for yourself. Catch Cha-Cha Slide and Log out like that. That was a fantastic use of that Primal Rage in that final fight. And now it looks like they're going to opt for this Junker Queen sort of composition, which I think might be tough to play into a Diva. Diva can just deny a lot of what Junker Queen likes to do.
Well, this is the composition that Bowling Green said they like to run here. Remember, Fatal Turtle did hover, or that was the character they have played the most, is their favorite character to play. And this is the kind of composition that they did tell us on their team sheet. They like to kind of run this JQ kind of brawl rush play style.
It's going to be tough, especially not having the Kiriko, because you're going into the Ana, and that's just, there's a lot of denial for Junker Queen specifically with this comp that Oops All Vibes is playing.
Fran, though, has to use the Bionade on themselves there, rather than maybe onto someone like Zach, who kind of needs a decent amount of healing right now, but the knife going to be stuck into Strider and send them back to spawn all in one fell swoop right there. Zach gets demac'd, and honestly, the start of this one right here is going absolutely the worst it possibly could here for Oops All Vibe. The only good part about it is that Fatal missed that knife throw there onto Fran.
No, you're absolutely right. That was an immediate just fight win for the side of BGSU, and it was mostly just because they forced Fran to turn around. Fran couldn't just sit there and pocket their tank and DPS in the front line, so that there was just no major healing coming in, and they were able to take them out pretty quickly there.
Strider has his railgun charge up to 100%. All kind of split up from the rest of their team here at the moment. Not going to be able to find them out just yet is Bowling Green, but a huge Bionade there coming out from Fran. Going to be able to hit 2, 0-1 of them, but no one going to be falling from it here. Oops All Vibes now just kind of pinstering Bowling Green here on the point. Going to be able to find Mr. Joker out, but you do lose Fran there on the backside, and Fatal just going after Log. Going to be able to get the knife stuck in there. Log, though, just barely going to be able to keep themselves alive here. You lose your support line right now if you're Bowling Green, though. You have a tough uphill battle, and honestly, you might just be trying to hold on to this point for as long as you can now. Fatal going to be able to find one more, but Zach, even without the mech, going to be able to find them right back. Oops All Vibes takes the point. Bowling Green does get 53%.
They get a solid first point cap there. Does BGSU. And Oops All Vibes, no ults to really speak of. You got the Pulse Bomb. That's about it, though. BGSU has that Rampage, though. That's the big play here. You got to make sure this Rampage gets huge value because it is a game-changing ultimate with no Kiriko on the field.
Cha-Cha Slide. Has the Pulse Bomb ready to go, waiting for a little bit of a distraction here. Sees the opportunity. A lot of members right there, but does not find the stick cover. The damage there just going to be enough for them to clean up Jimbo. Bomb being forced out here by Zach so they can get back into their mech, but they're not going to be allowed to. Mr. Joker, though, still will find one. Will get taken out there by the mech, but it seems like Oops All Vibes going to be able to clean up this fight. Fatal Turtle, though, actually invests the Rampage, finds 3 with it. Cha-Cha Slide now trying to fight the Junker Queen alone on point, using all 3 of those blinks. Fatal Turtle comes back in what I thought was a lost fight and wins it for Bowling Green.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. The Rampage is quite frankly the best ultimate in the game when there's no Kiriko available. You have no way to cleanse those antis. It does so much damage. Queen gets all the self-healing off of it. It's a ridiculous ult when you don't have anything to cancel it out with, and Fatal Turtle doing a great job of just catching multiple players with it.
Oops All Vibes, though, going to have both their support ultimates ready to go in this fight. Well, they had Rally there for a half a second before Kiera Wolf going to be able to take them out there. So 1 ultimate down if you're Bowling Green. That's a huge one to get rid of there very early on. That basically stops Mr. Joker from losing their Death Blossom here without it getting completely in. I have to stop talking about players when they have their ultimates here. They immediately get taken out now, though. Thrown out onto Strider. Anti-Neg going to be going on to Fatal Turtle, but the Pulse Bomb and the Overclock going to be able to find 3. Make it 4 right there. Strider with a triple kill there, and Oops All Vibes back in control.
It was a big-time investment, though, from Oops All Vibes. So they're left with no ultimates, not even really close to any ultimates for that matter. And you got to deal with double support ults on the other side, and Mr. Joker's got the Death Blossom available as well. Zach has to get back in mech as soon as possible, or this is going to be a very quick lost fight.
You see him taking pop shots, and honestly, Mr. Joker should be trying to find a use for that Death Blossom right now. Cha-Cha Slide in that backline, though, finds one, looking for more here, focusing in on that DPS line. Has to use the recall there pretty early, but it doesn't matter. You see Zach come in, find one fresh. Will be able to trade out there on a Cha-Cha Slide, but if you're Bowling Green right now, you might just be trying to fall back and regroup here very quickly because you do not have a lot of time left.
No, you don't. You have the ultimates available here, but you have to make sure that you get a good fight out of this. The Rampage is coming soon as well. That's going to be your key ult, I think, once this fight comes down to it.
You need to get Zach out of mech here pretty early on, though. They're so close to a bomb. You cannot have them dropping that on point. That's exactly what they do. Orbital Ray is out, and the damage is going to be scary here on point. The Death Blossom, just to try to keep everyone away. Bowling Green back in control. The Rampage comes out. It looks like it only hit on the Strider right there. Last one alive is Log, and they'll be the last one being sent back to spawn. It'll be a team kill, as Bowling Green will take our first map of the night.
Strong performance there from BGSU. You could tell they were so comfortable on that Junker Queen composition. They were winning so many fights just using 1 or 2 ultimates, whereas especially on point number 2, Oops All Vibes was just having to dump 3-4 ultimates to win fights. And that's honestly what ended up losing them the map there in that last fight in particular. They just didn't have any ults available because they just used them 2 fights ago, and that's just great. That's great pressure coming out from BGSU to make Oops All Vibes use that many ultimates to win a fight.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, for Oops All Vibes, it makes sense why they invested all those ultimates. If you don't use them, you kind of lose them right there. You lose the point, you lose the map. You use them, you win the fight, and you're just hoping that maybe Bowling Green does not have as many ultimates as they did coming into that next engagement there. But I mean, even then, that next engagement, Oops All Vibes did win it. And really, if they're going to be able to find out that Junker Queen right there, force them to go back to spawn and respawn, I feel like we would have seen a much different last fight there. You would have not seen the Junker Queen kind of lead the way there to get that point touch. Instead, it would have been someone like the Reaper who would have had to use Death Blossom very early on there. So Oops All Vibes was very close, in my opinion, to extending that map to a 3rd point.
No, it was insanely close. It was just, just too many ultimates available for BGSU there at the end. I think they had 4 ults. You can just ult dump and win the fight at that point. You have to force them to fight you on point. You got a bunch of ultimates that just kind of clear point as soon as you use them. So it's smart fight planning from BGSU.
Yeah, but good back and forth there for each side. I mean, I believe it was almost 9-9 and 9-9 on the 2 points that we did see there. So one fight going the other way. I mean, we could be talking about Oops All Vibes winning that map 2-0, or like I said, heading to a 3rd point here. This is going to be kind of what we expect from this entire series, just back and forth, and that's what I'm really excited for here. Bowling Green, though, with that victory there, 2nd map win of the season here. But we do know what our 2nd map of the night will be, as we do know what the rest of our maps for the series will be. Hollywood going to be number 2 here, and Shadow, normally you see a lot of dive be played here on this map, at least for the first 2 points. 3rd point, you kind of get a little bit of a mixed bag, but dive is strong on this map, and we did see both these teams, or at least Bowling Green, come out on a Winston, and we did see Oops All Vibes play that Diva pretty good, might I add, on that 2nd point.
No, they absolutely did. And that actually kind of leads me right into the bans. Oops All Vibes going to have the first ban here. And I think just because of what we saw on the last map, I'm thinking that the Winston ban might come out here from Oops All Vibes. Because my prediction is that Zach's going to want to play Diva again. And so just get the Winston out of here, because it's okay, Juno. All right. I can't say I expected Juno.
I don't hate the ban. I don't hate it. It makes a lot of sense, considering that it did seem like Bowling Green was finding a lot of value with the Juno there. But, I mean, Bowling Green now has the opportunity here to ban out the Diva.
Yeah, and I mean, that would probably be the pick here, would be the Diva, honestly. Outside of that, I'm trying to think what was really bothering you a lot on map number 1. And it was heroes that are rush-oriented. So, yeah, Diva makes perfect sense here, because they're probably not going to play a rush comp on Hollywood, surely.
No, probably not. Like we said, we probably expect to see Winston. Oops All Vibes might respond with a Winston of their own. Maybe Sigma here. They do have one player who says their favorite hero was Sigma, so you could see the chance coming out here. Yeah, we do have one sub coming in this map, Bowling Green. Both these teams do have a couple subs waiting in the wings, but it will be Bowling Green making the first one of the night. Barbecue Chicken coming in here for Jimbo on this map, and you do see him hovering over that Ana. That might be who we see them play.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of predict to see those 2 supports there exactly that are pictured on screen right now. We saw Kira play a lot of that Mercy on map number 1, and I think Ana Mercy with a dive would be really strong. You could also run Ana Brig as well, so either one works, but I'm thinking Barbecue Chicken must be like a Ana specialist, so they really like their Ana play, and that's pretty much all you would play on this map, I would think.
I mean, we could see something a little bit different. I mean, no Juno, you could see the Kiriko come back out. Remember, that was banned out first map by Bowling Green.
maybe even something like a Baptiste Immortality Field could be really strong, especially if these two teams are fearing that the backline is going to be having a lot of problems if you're not playing an Ana already. So a lot of options here now for the support still, but I mean, gonna be heading in here any moment. What does Oops All Vibes really need to do here, Shadow, to get back into the series and tie it up?
They need to have a strong first fight here, just really set the precedent. Don't let BGSU start steamrolling you immediately if you're on defense, or if you're on the attack, don't start to get held super quickly. So let's see. Oops All Vibes, they're going to be on the defense here. So yeah, you need to make sure you win first fight just to sort of set the tempo, if you will. And what better tank to do it with than the tempo tank himself, Ramatra. So, I guess that's what they're going to do here. And Strider must be a known Bastion player. Maybe that's why we saw that Bastion ban on map number 1. That would make a little bit more sense, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it does surprise me a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Bowling Green might have called it right here. You see the Kiriko coming out there. Kira Wolf going to go back over to their Mercy. This is kind of what we expect to see from Bowling Green. Fresh, honestly, though, Joker. I mean, my bad, Shadow. I don't expect them to stick on the Widow for very long here.
No, I think they're just going to take a shot, probably go back to spawn.
Well, they're looking for the shot there. Going to be able to land one. Won't find the headshot, though, onto Zach, but you still see Cha-Cha slide up there on that high ground. Going to be able to get themselves out of harm's way for the moment here, but I mean, Fresh not really being contested at the moment. They can have an opportunity here to maybe line up a headshot or two, especially if they find one right there. They find a shot there on the Strider, but the healing up there going to be able to keep them alive. But the pressure coming out from Fatal only going to last a little bit long here, or a little bit longer before they have to dive back up. But it's going to be Fresh finding Cha-Cha slide out there early on. They're looking for a follow-up kill now here, but Zach just trying to hold the point, maybe even pressure out Fresh here a little bit.
Zach having a tough time right now just finding a target on this Ramatra. This comp is so mobile from BGSU, and Fresh getting another kill onto Strider, showing the value of that Widowmaker.
And Kira gets the res. Fatal died like on point. That should have not been allowed at all there. Joker, though, not going to be able to escape this time around. Fatal going to be able to get rid of Zach right there. And I mean, Bowling Green, they're looking a good spot right here. The only thing that really Oops All Vibes can do is exactly what Log did right there. Stall for a second and hope that the rest of their team can get back in time. Cha-Cha slide is back, but they're only going to be back for so long to say hello before they get sent back to spawn. Nano being invested here on the Strider. They really want to hold on to this point here as long as they can. Strider going to be able to find one. Primal Rage, though, coming out here from Fatal as they just start to just throw punches at Log there in the corner. Now the artillery coming out here from Strider, trying to just find anyone they can, but they don't do it right there. But they do split up Bowling Green there very well. Joker anted up there, and you see that already 2 members make it 3. I mean, this is a fight lost here for Bowling Green. They're going to have to fall back just below 2 ticks, though.
Oh, wow. That was a great recovery from the side of Oops All Vibes. And you see Zach swapping onto that Winston. I think that was the big game changer here. Zach coming back on that Winston just allowed them to pressure that high ground a lot more. Fresh doesn't just get to free fire onto their backline anymore on that Widowmaker. So nobody's just dying to that. And you see Fresh having to swap over to the Sojourn. Makes perfect sense to me here. You're going to want to watch for Joker's Blade here. That could be big time.
And especially with that Kitsune Rush ready for barbecue chicken, it could be something that really does a lot of damage here. There it goes. Really no one on point, though, and Fatal looking a little bit worse for wear at the moment. Bionade invested there, but Antied gonna be his Joker. Joker gets put to sleep and taken out. Not how you wanted that Blade to go in this fight. Already starting to fall apart here for Bowling Green. They might just have to back up and wait for their Genji, but they're gonna stay in it as long as they can.
I mean, that's just typical things that happen when a blade gets pulled, aren't they? I mean, that was crazy. Strider has gotten a lot of kills with this grenade, by the way. Like, I have just noticed they are sticking these things constantly and getting a lot of value off of them. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Fran just nanoed them again, because they've been doing such a good job on that Bastion.
They have, and I mean, Mr. Joker really hasn't been able to do a lot to it. Nano, though, being invested here onto Zach early on. The Swift Step going to be able to keep Barbecue Chicken alive there, but now they have no escape. It's going to be the jump that kills them there, and I mean, again, Bowling Green, you already lost 2 here, about to make it 3 potentially. You're just got to fall back and regroup, especially with Fatal falling there. Yeah, it's time to fall back, regroup, and you're seeing a swap come out here from Mr. Joker.
Yeah, Joker swapping over to the Reaper, trying to put more pressure onto Zach on that Winston. And looks like Fatal is going to go on to the Junker Queen as well. So they're going back to more similar to their comp we saw on map number 1. And I mean, it's going to be tough to traverse this much ground without losing somebody to all this spam damage. Nice kill though from Fresh.
And this is something that they needed. Fresh needed to find one right there. Joker gonna be able to find Fran out as well. This is the fight that Bowling Green desperately needed here. You will lose Joker. The rally coming out here from Log. Primal Rage out as well. Oops, all vibes, just ult dumping everything they can, but they're not finding any picks at the moment. Instead, it's Log gonna fall there by the axe swing from Fatal Turtle. Joker will find one more. The pulse bomb stick though gonna find Kira there. That does put Oops, all vibes, give him a little bit of hope in this fight, but not for very much longer here. Zach can only do so much before they get pressured out here. You do have Fran though, gonna be able to land a huge anti-nade, but they're not gonna last very much longer here. And Bowling Green, by the skin of their teeth here, Shadow, gonna be able to keep this map alive.
It took until overtime, but they did finally manage to cap that point, and it really all started with Fresh's overclock, just getting that early kill and just allowing their team to really take that space so they could get on point. Now you're going to see Fresh swap over to the Ash. There's a lot longer sight lines on this point. That definitely makes more sense to me. You can get big-time value out of those headshots and those dynamites in particular. I still think that Fatal is just going to have to be constantly moving so fast around the map just to make sure they're not getting poked out on this Queen.
Wait, Strider falls off the high ground right there. They're actually in a really bad spot, but they're going to be able to get healed up there by the entirety of their team. And Fatal playing very aggressively right now, going to be able to find Log because of it. They will get Barbecue. Actually, Barbecue Chicken finds them there, but you just see the fall up there from Bowling Green. This is exactly how they needed to start this second point push here, just with an aggressive push into that high ground, really forcing a split here from Oops, all vibes. The Winston now, you might have to be asking yourself, how much longer do you stay on it when Fatal has been doing a great job on this Junker Queen the entire series?
No, I mean, you're absolutely right, but the Diva isn't available anymore, so it might be a case of Zach not quite sure what to play, and these supports just... Oh, nice shot coming out from Strider. Oh, another nice shot from Strider.
With two right there, make it two straight railgun headshots. Missing the third right there. Zach will be able to clean up Kira. Log finds Fresh, and I mean, Bowling Green, give him credit for a good first push right there, but it's going to end. And, ooh, Barbecue Chicken barely stays alive.
Just does get away there with their lives, but now this is the big ult dump fight. We've got a Nano, Primal, and a Pulse Bomb available from Oops All Vibes. There's a Death Blossom, a Rampage, and a Kitsune Rush, not to mention the Valkyrie available from BGSU. So this is going to be the big fight here. What is Fatal going to do with this ultimate, I think?
Keeping up to the high ground right there. Huge bio nade out early. Gets rid of Joker. The cha-cha slides. Pulse bomb going to be able to find Fresh. Fatal, though, will find their one. Find their two, actually. Joker back in this fight. The Valkyrie being invested here by Kira. And Bowling Green has been one of those teams in the past already this series that's not afraid to invest ultimates into a fight that might not be the smartest too, but I mean, they've done a good job already. If they can find Zach here, I could see the Rampage coming up, and no, it's actually going to be the Primal Rage out from Zach instead, as they were just about to fall right there. There's the Rampage, only going to be able to land onto one there. Strider going to be nanoed up here with that overclock. They find one, they find two. Can they find a third? No, they'll not be able to just yet. There's the third, and why not end it with a headshot? Overtime is ticking here. Bowling Green not going to be able to get back in time, but Shadow, that 97 meters into point two is a lot more than probably what we were expecting going into overtime on that first point.
No, absolutely. BGSU did a really good job to even get it that far. And I mean, Fatal was about, 4 or 5 inches away from that being potentially 2 more kills onto the back line of Oops All Vibes. They stopped like right in front of them with that Rampage. That was so close to being another amazing play from Fatal Turtle on that Queen. They seem to know that hero so well. And I mean, but now comes the question of, what are you going to do about Oops All Vibes dive when they come at you on the attack? Are you going to play the Queen on defense? Because then you're just going to have to kind of rush around to wherever they decide to dive to and just try and get an early kill.
And I mean, you can see Fatal kind of pondering that decision. And like I said, we could see the Sigma here, something that could cancel out maybe a dive from a Winston. But you see what Zach's hovering here at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And Strider on the sim, I mean, they could be trying to do some TP strats here, which Bowling Green might not be the most prepared for.
TP strats are always so difficult to deal with, but there is the other side of this as well, where I think it's going to be tough for a Reinhardt to stay alive, even with the teleport in. just with there being a Reaper at all and a Sigma. I mean, if you take an accretion to the face as Reinhardt, you're pretty much done. Like at that exact moment, you are pretty much done. So it's going to take a lot of just outplays from Zach. I like the mirroring of the Reaper just because Joker's going to have to watch Cha-Cha slide as well. They're going to have to kind of mark each other almost.
I think both these teams really expected to see dives come out from either side. That's why you see the Reapers, in my opinion. But there's the TP onto that high ground, and oh, that backline is not looking so good. Log, though, going to be the first one to fall. Barbecue Chicken, though, going to be traded out. Down goes Joker, and this is exactly what Oops All Vibes want to do here with this composition. Bowling Green is going to try to stay in this fight as long as they can here, but the numbers advantage is not on their side.
No, it absolutely isn't. They were just kind of surprised by that TP like you predicted they would be. And now you just got to get this kill onto Fatal Turtle ASAP. Great kill coming out from BGSU. Or
Fresh Falls and now Kira kind of in a world of their own here. It looks like Joker going to be here to at least let them get out safely, but they're going to have a world of hurt here if they don't run away fast.
And looks like Fatal Turtle has opted to go on to the Orisa here. So that's the first time I've seen Orisa in a while, but Orisa can kind of bully Reinhardt a little bit, so this pick does make sense to me in that way as well.
Yeah, but right now, if you're Bowling Green, you have 5 minutes, and you can see where that golden box of victory is right there. Already onto the high ground is everyone from Oops All Vibes. Fresh has to use that coach gun just to get off of it there. But I like what Bowling Green's doing here. They're going to try to close hold it as best as they can here, knowing that Oops All Vibes is already behind them and on that high ground.
Oh, and Mr. Joker getting that kill onto Strider probably is going to stop this push, I would have to imagine.
Somehow Barbecue Chicken juking around, keeping themselves alive when they really shouldn't. Nice whip shot there by Log, but they get a spear right back at them. Log, though, going to be able to fall right there. Joker falls as well. The Nano being invested here. Nice javelin again there by Fatal. Kirwolf going to be able to get Joker back into this fight here. And, I mean, right now at the moment, Bowling Green doing a good job just kind of holding close here. But, again, you do see the TP strats coming out here from Oops All Vibes. Fresh, though, finds Fran here early on. It seems like Oops All Vibes has just decided to say, okay, we're going to play Carp. But the Death Blossom out there from Joker finds one, make it two, can't find the third. Log will take them out though, but they got the damage they were looking for there as Oops All Vibes just decides to fall back.
Yeah, you definitely needed to get that kill there if you were BGSU. You got a Bob available now, and it looks like now Zach has swapped over to the Zarya off of the Reinhardt, tired of dealing with the Orisa. And I mean, here you just got to make sure you use your ults properly and you just don't dump all of them at one time because you do have to hold for the next 4 minutes, and that is a tough kill.
That's not who you want to see because, like you said, they have ultimates coming up here. You want to use them smart. Well, they had a Bob right there. Could have contested the cart pretty good on their own there for the moment. But the Photon Barrier coming out there from Strider. Valkyrie out here from Kira. Just try to keep everyone alive and kicking here. Don't want to lose anyone else just yet. Bowling Green, though, still holding on to 3 ultimates. Cha-Cha slide, though. Death Blossom is ready, and Death Blossom is out. Only finds one, but sometimes in fights like these, you only need to find one. Kira, they're going to be able to res them right back. Fatal will find one with their own Terror Surge right there, but a Bob coming out there from Fresh, I believe gets booped away from the point. No, it's still in the sights there of Log. Fresh gonna be able to find them. TP's not gonna be able to come out there from Strider. The Nano invested in the Joker. Bowling Green, heavy investment into that one, but Oops All Vibes, I mean, they used some as well.
I mean, it's a worthwhile investment. I mean, that is last fight right there. If you lose it, you're probably not going to get another touch, so you have to do that. Mr. Joker getting close on that Death Blossom, though. I think that's going to be the real key here. They need to try and get to this Death Blossom. Log is going to get to the sound barrier here. They may use it to beat engage aggressively, or they may hold on to it for the first time they need it defensively.
Nice coach gun there by Fresh, forcing Zach off the high ground. Has to take that elevator back up. Fatal, though, coming back out on the Winston here. I like this pick a little bit better than the Orisa, just with dealing with the Czar. The Log invests the beat there. And, I mean, it wasn't used aggressively. It wasn't used defensively. It just kind of seems like everyone on Oops All Vibes just went their separate ways after it came out. Bowling Green, though, falls back here a little bit, playing the low ground, dive out there from Fatal onto that high ground. Grand going to be put to sleep permanently there by Strider and Fran. Barbecue Chicken, they're going to be able to trade out 1-for-1 there. But if you Oops All Vibes, you love it that you still have your tank on the field. And look, that cart is getting ever so closer to that golden box.
Oh, it's getting really close here. This is a good angle from Strider, too. You can't lose anybody right now.
Valkyrie coming out here from Kira. They're probably going to try to get Fresh back into this fight. High ground here for Fran will help them out immensely. Zach, though, antied up there. You do get Fresh back into the fight, and now you see the dive there onto the high ground, not only from Fatal, but from Joker as well, but you lose Barbecue Chicken in the background. You lose Joker as well. It's going to be a tough fight now for Bowling Green, but Fatal is going to be able to find one trade here. Fran has that nano ready to go. They use the anti-nade there. They put Fatal to sleep in that backline after they invest the proper rage, but Cha-Cha Slide wakes them up, and they'll lose Fran because of it here. Fran had that nano ready to go, going to be holding on to it for the next engagement, and it looks like Oops All Vibes might just be trying to back up and re-engage and regroup here so they have one more engagement.
Oh, wow. We've made it all the way from 5 minutes to last fight territory. Oops All Vibes has a lot of ults here. You pretty much have a Grav and a Death Blossom available to you and no defensive ultimates to really speak of from the side of BGSU. So that might be your big play here. Just try and catch a few people on a Grav. Strider getting that kill is tough, though.
Oh, Fatal just went a little bit too far forward. The Bob is going to have to come out here from Fresh, but there's the grab. There's the Bob. Cha-Cha Slide finds Joker. The Nano out on the Cha-Cha Slide here. Already finding two. The Death Blossom might just seal the deal, and that's exactly what it does right there. Kira trying to stall, but it's not going to be enough. Oops All Vibes ties our series.
Oh, what a great performance from Oops All Vibes. And I mean, shout out BGSU as well. They took that timer down from 5 minutes to last fight right there. That's a tough way to go out, but Strider doing a great job on this Sojourn all over this map of just getting big time value out of their overclocks and just rails in general.
Yeah, I mean, Strider was doing really good on the first map as well here, but they just weren't able to kind of, win those key team fights. This time around, Oops All Vibe was able to win those key team fights, but give it up to Bowling Green. They played that second point defense very, very good as well, just not able to hold it for that 5+ minutes that Oops All Vibes had there. And Oops All Vibes, I mean, they came out with a very interesting comp to start off, and they got everything they were looking for there with that Sim TP strat.
No, they absolutely did. As soon as they got that first kill onto a support, it just kind of rolled from there. And that's what that element of surprise can do for you when you have that TP strat available to you.
Yep, absolutely. But with that being the end of our second map, we're going to throw it to a quick break and be right back with maps 3 and 4 guaranteed. And everyone, you're not going to want to miss it. We could be going 5 here tonight. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone, from that break right there. Oops, All Vibes wins Hollywood to tie our series up here 1-1, heading into Esperanza. Shadow, I mean, both teams put up a hell of a fight there on that second map, but Oops, All Vibes, they had a really good defense and an even better offensive round.
Yeah, they took it right there at the end. BGSU took them down to the wire, though. So these teams look as evenly matched as we expected them to be, quite honestly. It's just a play made here, a play made there seems to be the difference so far.
Yeah, same thing happened in map 1. 1 or 2 fights goes the other way. It's probably right now Oops All Vibes up in this series 2-0, and probably 1 or 2 fights going Bowling Green's way on Hollywood right there, and they would be up 2-0. Remember, these are two teams that have had some of the toughest schedules so far or in this or early on in this season here. Now in the back half, the schedule get a little bit easier for them, and hopefully those wins come as both of them still looking for their first wins here tonight. But like I said, our third map of the night, we'll be heading to Esperanza here. And I mean, hey, I like this push map. You see it played a lot. You can play a lot of different compositions, and I feel like if you're both teams here, you can play the compositions you really want to play, barring you get a key hero banned out.
I mean, yeah, that's what I would think going into this. I mean, I would think you play some dive here, but we've also seen that BGSU really favors that Junker Queen comp, so that may be the route that they go. And I almost think you go for a tank ban here to almost protect your queen, just to make sure it doesn't get banned out here. What tank? I don't know. You banned out the Diva. It would probably have to be like a Winston, most likely, like you were saying.
I would say go for the Winston, but no, it's actually gonna be Bowling Green banning out the Tracer here this time around. So Oops All Vibes, they have the opportunity to ban out the Junker Queen. Do you do something like we've started to see a lot here recently in OWCS, where you hold that very important ban for the last map, or do you ban it out right now to put yourself on a serious point here if you win this map?
Ooh, you might want to hold it for map 4, because New Junk City. No, okay, they're just gonna do it right now. Fair enough. Get it out of the way right now. See what BGSU can do without this queen, because you know they're probably gonna play it on map number 4 now that you banned it map 3. But you can potentially get that lead you were just talking about.
Yeah. Well, you see the bans right here. Well, we also have a lot of subs coming back in for this map as well. Let's start off. Okay, let's start off with Oops All Vibes. It's gonna be a lot of shifting around here. Zach, who was previously playing tank, is swapping with Log, who is playing support. So those two are swapping. You have Biscuit coming in here for Fran on the support line here. So a swap and a sub coming in here. I mean, it's very, very interesting, but this might be a map where potentially Log's a little bit better as a pick here, especially with I believe they're listed as a flex player here. So you might be seeing that Wrecking Ball come out from them.
Yeah, it could purely be something like that with the Wrecking Ball. They could just be more comfortable running, a particular dive comp. I would imagine, though, like you said, it's got to be the Wrecking Ball. And I'm curious if Zach is going to play Mercy here, or if there's some other idea with the support line as well.
It would be very interesting to see Mercy played on both sides here. It's been a very long time since we've seen that mirror. But Bowling Green, hey, we'll keep it simple this time around. You just have Jimbo coming back in for Chicken. Jimbo played that first map, Chicken played the second map, and now Jimbo back in here for the third map. Kind of what I expected, honestly.
Yeah, I believe they were playing a lot of that Lucio map number 1. I would expect to see them do the same here. I am curious what BGSU is going to do without the Junker Queen, though. Do we see like an Orisa come out, maybe a Ramatra? I still expect them to play some sort of brawl comp over a dive, though.
Well, we have seen Fatal play a Winston. We have seen him play the Sigma and Orisa throughout the night here. The Orisa is probably the one that looked the best of them all. Yeah, they did win a point on Nepal with the Winston, but I really liked how the Orisa played last map. And this could be a map where you do find some valuable points or valuable fights and a lot of value with the Orisa. But I mean, once we see what these teams are playing here, we'll get a better idea of how they want to go into this map.
And looks like BGSU, initially at least, is going to opt for that dive. Oops All Vibes does actually appear to be playing the Wrecking Ball. I actually really like the state that Wrecking Ball is in right now, but I do think it's going to be tough to find targets with that pile driver. There's just so much mobility from both of these comps, and that's going to be the fun part of watching these two go against each other. Is like who's going to find the stationary target to actually go on.
Yeah, one thing though, Bowling Green really also doesn't have anyone that could truly stop the ball on the other side. Log's going to be able to roll through pile drive and roll out without really any problem here. I mean, you have no anti-nade, you have no sleep, you have hell, even a Junkrat trap to try to slow him down. But look how Oops All Vibes is playing this. They're trying to bait Bowling Green into a dive onto that far side and allow Log to come in. But it's actually be Strider fighting Fresh out. You will see Joker trade out Cha-Cha Slide there. So even across the board and Log, I mean, you see him bowling through, but yet no one really being affected that much by the ball.
And yeah, we are going to see. There you go. Log taking out Jimbo right on cue. And there goes another kill onto Mr. Joker. We are seeing Cha-Cha Slide swap over to the Pharah as well, which I like that pick here as well.
And I imagine we might be seeing a couple swaps come out here from Bowling Green. Jimbo already making the swap over to that Lucio. Fatal and Kira, though, going to be sticking with what they've been running.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to opt for the Lucio Moira, just sort of rush composition with the Winston. And again, I'm just having a hard time seeing who you can really go on. Your best target here is probably going to be Biscuit, but there should be a lot of peel onto that Ana.
Log just trying to set up for the pile drive right there, but Bowling Green playing around the walls right there. You do get the pile drive there, I believe, on to Fresh. Not going to be able to find them just yet. Joker, though, gets denied escape. Same thing with Log, though, but it's going to be Cha-Cha Slide finding Joker out here early on. Strider finding Jimbo, and this is not how you wanted this fight to start if you're Bowling Green. You probably just have to kind of fall back, regroup, and this might be your moment here right now where you are really heavily considering making a swap here.
Yeah, you might need to make the swap, go with something just simple like the Sombra, just go for a full-on counter for the Wrecking Ball, try and burn them as quick as you can. Otherwise, this ball is just going to keep rolling around and probably going to drop these mines on your head shortly.
And like I said, there was no one on the side of Bowling Green that was really a good stop here to the Wrecking Ball. Log comes flying in, gonna drop the mines right there to build them a little bit of space here so they can push the cart freely. Turtle, not in the best of spots, gonna try to get out, but the mines, they saw him there. It was a little bit too hard for them to do anything. And now Bowling Green down their tank, and Joker, Shadow, I really believe you have to make the swap here.
You have to swap to something. We see the Diva come out. I like that pick a little bit more. But still, it's just like, who are you going? What's your target here? Who can you actually go on if you're BGSU? You got to try and go for this Ana somehow.
I mean, you see the coalescence coming out here from Kira. Will force Oops All Vibes back here a little bit. But one thing that Bowling Green struggled to do this map, find a pick. Oops All Vibes just completely just falls back. Gonna be able to keep everyone alive here.
And they got 4 ultimates to boot. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like a Nano Barrage come in, or maybe not.
Well, there's a barrage. It wasn't nanoed, but hey, you find Jimbo. You do trade out Cha-Cha Slide there, but I think you'll take that trade most days here. Bowling Green, though, this is your opportunity. You do have a blade. You do have that overclock, but you're still looking for probably one more here. You know Zach is holding on to the beat as well. Something that could easily counter out the blade. Anti-Nade coming out. They're not going to be able to land on anyone. Biscuit, though, going to invest that nano here onto Log. Miss the pile drive onto everyone as Bowling Green does invest the nano here. Jimbo going to be able to find Biscuit. The beat now coming out from Zach. Just a little bit too late to keep their own Ana alive. Kira, next one to fall as Log just goes bowling through the entirety of Bowling Green right there. Strider with 2, looking for a third here. As you see Fatal just go after him. The mech going to be discard right there. The bomb coming out, though, not going to be able to find anyone. Fatal will be able to get back into it safely. Spawns, though, haven't been reset yet, even though picks are going back and forth. Oops All Vibes in a really good spot.
They are making really good use of their ultimates, too. They still got the overclock available. Strider's been doing such a good job with this, and Log going to be able to hold some space with these mines here as well. Joker and Fresh do have their ultimates available for BGSU as well, though, so hopefully one of those comes out.
Well, speaking of mines are out on the field, and Jimbo runs straight into one. Log looking for more, but their team is starting to clean up a little bit. Strider will be taken out here, but still the damage for this fight is already all but done here. You see Log just trying to clean up Kira right there. They should be able to once they notice him right there on the cart. But, I mean, again, now they're just kind of playing spin to win and bowling Kira Wolf away from the point, and Kira honestly kind of waiting for themselves to be taken out of that fight. Will use the fade to keep themselves alive. Jimbo barely escapes here, but again, if you're Bowling Green, you probably need to make 1 or 2 more swaps here to really try to slow down Log.
Yeah, honestly, I think you need to give up on the overclock or the blade and just go for the somber swap. Just try and full on punish this wrecking ball in some capacity. But it's going to be hard to. There's the cast. Okay, you can get a little bit of a slowdown with the flashbang there.
Fatal barely escapes right there with their mech alive. Kira pops that coalescence to make sure they can keep their diva in mech form here. And again, you see ultimates coming out from Bowling Green. Oops, all vibes decides to fall back, let those ultimates expire, and then go right back in. Fresh gonna be able to find one, but Log gonna come right back in with a power drive of their own onto Mr. Joker. Finally, you're starting to see Bowling Green get a couple picks to go their way here at the moment, forcing Oops, all vibes to fall back just for a brief moment, however.
Just for a brief moment, indeed. And again, Oops All Vibes going to have 5 ultimates coming in here. Mr. Joker has had this blade for quite a while now. They just kind of, at this point, you kind of just need to pull it and see if you can get somebody. It's going to be a tough ask, but you still just need to try it.
I mean, even if you get no one, you just need to kind of use it just to try to force some stuff out from the other side, especially with 2 ultimates coming out from Oops All Vibes and this nanoed overclock kind of missing on everyone. Fatal Turtle investing the bomb, going to be able to find one. There's the blade from Mr. Joker, slicing their way through Biscuit. Now trying to focus it in on Locke, who I believe has yet to die this map, but again, something we've been talking about all map long. No one is there to really slow down that ball.
No, I mean, all you have now, you have a flashbang, but that's not even like a full-on slowdown. It's just like a momentary pause when Log will just continue to roll some more after that. And now going into this fight, Cha-Cha Slide has this barrage online, so all they really have to do is just watch Fatal Turtle and make sure they get all that defense matrix out, and that should be a pretty free ultimate.
Fatal diving into that up high ground right there, gets immediately knocked back. Log comes rolling in, pile drives back down on the point. You see Cha-Cha looking for that opportunity right there. The beat coming out, but oh, they do not find anyone, and Mr. Joker just deflects those rockets right back to sender. Not you wanted that one to go there. The coalescence, though, being invested here by Kira, trying to keep their entire team alive as Bowling Green finally has a little bit of a foothold now in this map. Nice kind of roll through there to try to knock some members of Bowling Green into that disrupting shot. Joker will fall right there. Log trying to do their best, but Bowling Green so close to getting those forward spawns. Log just comes rolling through to knock everyone away. Hey, we see the somber pick come out here, but it's coming out from Oops All Vibes. They're already out of the fight, though. Fatal gonna invest the bomb here, just trying to build something onto this cart, not noticing that the bot is actually being stolen at the moment.
Yeah, that's a tough use of your bomb there. If you're Fatal, you probably wanted to just hold that and die as opposed to using it just to not have it for the next fight now. And that is interesting that the Sombra pick comes out from the side of Oops All Vibes. They're probably just going to constantly hack Fatal Turtle and just make them not able to use that defense matrix really anymore. And don't look now, but Log has another set of mines. They have just been building these so fast.
I was going to say, I could see the hack coming out on the Fatal. I could see the hack coming out on the Jimbo a lot here, but Fresh and Joker, they have been 2 players that have really stepped up for this Bowling Green team this map, trying to help their team as best as they can. Joker, they're going to be taken out there by Strider. You still have Log alive and kicking. Flashbang, though, will slow them down for a moment, but they just use that shield's ability to get themselves out of danger.
Yeah, I mean, Wrecking Ball gets so much HP with that shield that, like, it's tough to kill them with just the stun. You almost need that along with a Sombra just to kind of make them pause for multiple seconds and get stuck in your backline long enough to die.
Fatal hacked up right here as Strider has this off angle at the moment. The overclock is ready for them, but they're going to hold on to it. Fatal will get rid of Zach, but Log immediately traces out there onto Fresh. Railgun shot not going to be able to find Fatal right there, but still, Bowling Green, one more pick, and you might have this fight in your hands, especially if that is a pick, say, on someone like Log. Even Biscuit, you get rid of them. That hack coming out just a little bit too late. Kira will find Cha-Cha Strider, though, will trade out Joker here, but this is the best that Bowling Green has looked so far this map.
Oh, that's a tough 1v1 to lose there if you're Jimbo. That was so close. That should net you the checkpoint, though, if you're BGSU. We're down to a minute left, though. And a lot of ultimates for both. Oh, look at the flank. Look at the flank overclock.
No checkpoint just yet. Log doing their best abilities here on the ball just to stall out. Fresh, though, will be able to find Zach and the bot. Again, just being stolen here. So close, yet so far away. Bowling Green, they've been getting better as this map has gone on, but the one thing they've struggled to do, get rid of this wrecking ball on the other side. You see him rolling away, gonna get that large health pack flashbang, though, coming out as you do lose Biscuit in that backline. Mine's actually being invested there by Log just to get themselves back to safety here for the moment. Now Strider will fall. Log, you can desperately try to find them here. They're low on health, but they're running away.
And Log just doing a good job of really valuing their life on this wrecking ball and doing such a good job of contesting that point. Because again, checkpoint still has not happened for BGSU, so they're going to probably have to burn an ultimate or two just to get this checkpoint.
Well, they get the checkpoint right there, but because it wasn't capped in overtime, they have to wait for the animation to play here. Bowling Green, they do have all 5 of their ultimates ready to go here, so if you're anywhere close to death, you are using it no matter what at this point. Power Drive coming out right there. Fresh, though, not going to be able to use the Deadeye. Overclock beat coming out here to counter out the EMP from the other side. Zach also investing the beat here. Both these teams fighting here. Bomb coming out. We'll be able to find Zach. That is exactly what Bowling Green needed there. They're going to be able to find Biscuit out as well here. Log, though, still doing their best just to stall out this cart as long as they can. Pile drive in there. They have a set of mines, though, ready to go here, but still, Bowling Green, they are struggling to get rid of Log.
I mean, look, Log's still basically full HP. This wrecking ball is just an absolute menace trying to get a kill on them, and here comes the mines.
And you see everyone on Bowling Green has to play it slow here. They're just trying to clean up the mines. Fresh, gonna be able to find Zach here, and you see them slowly eating away at that lead. About 30 meters to go now.
Oh, you've got the Deadeye, you've got Blade available if you're Fresh and Joker. Just don't be too hasty with this ultimate. Just wait for a moment, and you should be able to pull it here and get this fight win for your team.
Overtime committed here, and Oops All Vibes has no ultimates to go with here, but you lose Fresh. This is not how you want this fight to go. Joker, though, will find one. There's the Blade, but Strider comes back in with a railgun right there to clean them up. The Overclock now out from them, looking for anyone they can. They find Jimbo here. They're going to be able to get rid of Fatal's mech, now focusing it on Kira here. Bowling Green, they were coming back, but it just wasn't enough. Oops All Vibes will take our 3rd map of the night, and again, it was a lot like Hollywood. Bowling Green was so close to winning it there late, but a couple heroic plays coming out there from Strider and everyone on Oops All Vibes.
And I mean, once again, like you said, Strider doing such a great job on this Sojourn, getting the kills right when they needed to. Of all the people to get, it was Fresh and then immediately followed by Joker, the only 2 players with ultimate for the side of BGSU in that last fight. I mean, it looked like BGSU had every advantage in the world, and then Strider said, "No, I've got this. I got this railgun here with Sojourn."
And it's been kind of the theme all night long. One fight goes the other way for that losing team, and you could be talking about them winning here, and that is definitely something you could be saying here with Bowling Green. They had 2 ultimates. They had the Deadeye. You lose Fresh early. You had the Blade ready to go. They find one pick, and then they pop the Blade and immediately get taken out by Strider on the other side. Oops All Vibes. I mean, they kind of were in control that entire map right there, but Bowling Green, they made it very interesting at the end of it there. And again, I don't think Log ever died. Log was a little bit of a server admin that entire map.
Yeah, no, that wrecking ball was almost unkillable. Like I said several times throughout the map, I expected like a Sombra or something to that effect to come out at some point to just, just make Log sit still long enough that you can dump some damage into them just to at least make them run away. Because they were so high health for a majority of that time, they could just roll backwards, roll right back in, and do a pile driver. They didn't even have to go nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, hell, the one time you saw Log kind of fear for their life, they popped mines to keep themselves alive there. It was by that large health pack by the staircase there. I mean, everyone was just surrounding him, popped the mines, rolled out to keep themselves alive there. A good play there by Log. They did force mines out, though, and that really did help Bowling Green there in that last little push they had, but Bowling Green, I mean, you almost had a great comeback there in that final half of that map, but Oops All Vibes, I think that lead they got very early on, it was just a little bit too much for the Falcons to overcome.
Yeah, it was just, like you say, one fight. That was the difference there. What was it, like 100 meters to 112 meters what it ended up being? We ended up being this close somehow. As lopsided as that map felt for a large majority of it, BGSU was this close to winning once again. So this could, easily go their way, and they're going to have their Junker Queen back on map number 4 now.
Yeah, we do know map number 4 will be New Junk City. And like you said, I mean, you could have held the Junker Queen for this map. I feel like Junker Queen finds a little bit more value on this map, especially with a lot of the close quarters that are on this map. But I think the Junker Queen ban on Esperanza really did help him out a lot. And you might even see the ball stay out here for Oops All Vibes if Bowling Green decides not to ban it.
It's a very strong possibility. And I mean, speaking of the bans, I think if you're BGSU, I feel like this is the map where you take the Sojourn ban finally. Get the Sojourn out of here right now. Sojourn can work on Circuit Royale, but it feels like it's like a more longer range map where you might not see quite as much Sojourn. So I would rather the Sojourn get out of here right now if I'm BGSU. So I'm not sure what else you would really ban here.
I mean, you might just go after the Wrecking Ball if you're Bowling Green. I mean, you had a lot of problems with it last time around. But like you said, the Soj makes a lot of sense. But you could be holding it for the last map because the Wrecking Ball and the Soj really did give you guys a lot of problem that last map and throughout the entire series, really. I mean, Strider has been great so far. But you have to remember, everyone on Oops All Vibes, I mean, they basically made a role swap with 2 of their players and then brought in a sub. There's a lot of movement that can happen with that team.
No, absolutely. With as flexible as they are, too, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Wrecking Ball ban, but I think the Sojourn ban is, yeah, there it is, the Wrecking Ball ban. Okay, yeah, they don't want to see that character again. They probably saw the 0 deaths. I would not be surprised, like you said, if 0 deaths was actually what happened on that map. But now this leaves a very interesting choice for Oops All Vibes to make.
Yeah, it really much does. And I mean, now that the Wrecking Ball is banned, what do you kind of go back to here? Do you go back to the Winston where you find a lot of value? Diva's back in the fray here again. You could bring out something else. I mean, even Ryan potentially here on this map. Not necessarily the best map for Ryan, but it does have its pluses and minuses. Hell, maybe even a Zarya here. That has been something we have seen a tank from Oops All Vibes play this series.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good pick, I would think. The Reaper ban coming out from Oops All Vibes. Okay, that's an interesting choice. It tells me that they might be opting to play like a more brawl heavy tank potentially. Maybe they want to play the Winston as well. But my initial thought is that they're probably gonna opt for that Ramatra. I believe I saw them try and play that on, what was it, Hollywood First Point?
Yeah, but at the same time, Reaper has found a lot of value from Bowling Green. They've picked it a couple times here. It's really worked out. Hell, it's worked out for both sides, but I think this is mostly because they want to play a certain style. Going into this map, they want to make sure Bowling Green cannot play it, especially with, like we kind of said here, we might have been expecting a lot of swaps coming out from Oops All Vibes here, and that is exactly what is going to happen here. Basically, every swap that happened last map is just being reverted here. Zach is going back to tank, Log going back to support, and Fran coming back in here for Biscuit. So back to what they were playing the first 2 maps, we did see a decent amount of variety from Zach on that tank.
Yeah, and you could actually even play the Reinhardt and run like a rush composition. And I think one of the big differences between this map and map number 1, where we saw the Rein not be quite as successful, is that Kiriko is available now. And having Kiriko available against the Junker Queen neutralizes that ult to a large extent. It's still a really good ultimate, but as long as you know the ult's coming, you can just hold the Suzu and then boom, throw it on the ground. You just cleanse the entire ultimate.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, we've seen a lot of variety from Zach. I mean, we've seen Ryan, we've seen Zar, we've seen Winston here. So they've kind of shown us they can play a lot of different tanks here. We might even see a Queen Mirror, which is not far-fetched for this map, but I really do believe on this map specifically, after the first central point, Zarya does find a lot of value and can really be a big problem to the other team, especially if there's really no one that can slow them down. So, I mean, Bowling Green backs are against the wall here. You've been in the situation a lot throughout the season, though, so I mean, you have to kind of know how you're feeling, but I mean, they're very close last map right there. Almost got it back. Hopefully, they're able to right their mentals here very, very quickly and forget that last map heading into this one.
Yeah, I mean, that's 2 close maps in a row that they just barely lost as well, because Hollywood was the exact same. So maybe, hey, this is the time where they're going to have the super, super close win on their side. I would be surprised if they run anything other than the Junker Queen here, just because it is so good on this map. Like a Junker Queen, Kiriko Lucio, something to that extent.
I mean, hey, Queen coming out from Bowling Green, what we expected. The Orisa. Nope, there's the Ryan. I mean, we might be getting teased here for 20 seconds, Shadow.
No, you're not lying about that. I would be surprised to not see a May come out from Oops All Vibes if you're going to play the Reinhardt. But if you're going to play the Orisa, I think the Tracer makes a lot more sense. You can get a lot of that backline pressure coming out while the Orisa is just kind of frontlining. But having the May with the Junker Queen tells me that they're just going to probably try and wall somebody off, try and catch an individual target that they pull in with the knife.
And I don't hate that. I don't hate that strategy from them, but it has to be done very, very well here and onto the right character. Really, the only one you could be looking to go after here is potentially Zach or Log. The rest of them have abilities that can get them out of dodge, or at least make sure they deal a lot of damage less there. Here, Wolf gonna be able to find Cha-Cha Slide. Log falls right after that, and this composition for Bowling Green, I mean, it looked really good for them on map 2 and map 1, and it's starting off great here on map 4.
I mean, it's a really good composition to play when you just kind of want to run together as a death ball, and that's what BGSU seems to be really good at doing. And especially like you're slowing targets down with the May, you're kind of throwing some damage at them with the Genji, you got the slashes with the Queen, and here comes that Zarya you were mentioning out from Zach as well. Yeah, and I do think the Zarya is a really good pick into this. You can cleanse a lot of what's going on with the bubbles, and just getting the large amounts of damage out at one time as well is very useful.
Yeah, and now if you're Bowling Green, you kind of have to play safe here. You can't play as aggressively as you want to with this Queen comp because the bubbles, you don't want to just charge up this Queen. And I mean, Zach being very patient. There's finally the first bubble being invested there. But I mean, it seems like the fight on the point here is kind of distracting. Oops All Vibes already finds 2, make it 3, 4, not that far away. There's 4, there's number 5. And that DPS line, man, for Oops All Vibes, continuing that heater they had on last map here now.
No, absolutely. Cha-Cha getting caught out a little early in first fight just made it a lot tougher for them to really get that point presence. But now it's just kind of like, okay, sit back, let your Tracer get into position, and then, Strider hitting those shots on that cast just as well as they were on the Sojourn.
Shout already invested there from Fatal early. The wall from Fresh, probably not as good as you were hoping for, but hey, at least the Pulse Bomb missed, and Joker finds them right back out after that. And remember, that's exactly what happened first fight here. Cha-Cha Slide was taken out very early on, and Oops All Vibes just struggled into anything else. Coalescence coming out here to try to counter out this Kitsune Rush from the other side, and man, is it working very, very good here. Bowling Green get us confidently take the point back here and not even give up the lead.
And it only cost you the Coalescence, which, I mean, you're not really that upset trading a Coalescence for a Kitsune. You're pretty happy with that exchange. Cha-Cha Slide uses the Pulse Bomb as well. And, I mean, you might need to burn one more ultimate here, but that's probably all you'll need to potentially take this point.
Well, speaking of burning an ultimate, there's the ultimate to burn right there onto the Blizzard. You do get a last-second touch there, but again, you lose Cha-Cha Slide early on. Suzu already invested to try to keep Strider up and kicking, but it's not really going to do a lot here. It's going to be a tough uphill battle here for Oops All Vibes and the rest of this one. Beat, though, invested by Jimbo, and, I mean, if you're Oops All Vibes, I think you're happy that you at least forced out the beat there.
No, you absolutely are. I think it was a pretty decent beat just to make sure you secure that point. If you're BGSU, you're in position on the next point. But the downside is you didn't force the sound barrier out of Log, so they're going to have that available for, potentially what could be a Rampage and a Blade combo going together here. Zach having the Grav online as well is going to be pretty crucial for Oops All Vibes.
Yeah, I mean, Bowling Green, like you said, they don't have that beat now. The grab is almost essentially free here unless Joker deflects it back to Oops All Vibes, which it would be funny to see. But again, Zach being very patient here using their bubbles. Finally uses the first one there. There's the Rampage, but there's the grab. Deadeye coming out here from Strider, trying to find anyone they can. They will find Fatal out, and if you're Bowling Green, that's not who you want to see fall first. Strider already with 2 this fight, looking for a third here, but just struggling to the ice wall there from Fresh. Gonna be able to slow him down, but again, this DPS line has been the key to all these team fight victories here for Oops All Vibes, and yet again, they find all 5 kills.
I mean, just a great job from them in particular in that fight. Like you said, managing to get all of the final blows for their team. now Cha-Cha Slide has this Pulse Bomb online and available early here. Probably going to be, set up in the back line, just looking for a stick onto somebody. BGSU does have their Blade online. There goes the stick.
Oh, they find the stick and they find two. The Blade not even going to come out. It's not even a thought in this fight. It might be a thought for next fight as Bowling Green tries to escape, but Fresh going to be able to find Cha-Cha Slide. Kira Wolf, though, again, this DPS line for Oops All Vibes, firing on all cylinders.
No, absolutely. Strider just cannot miss a shot right now. And that double pulse bomb, there's another one taking out Fatal Turtle. I mean, you lose Strider in the process, but as many kills as you got, you're really not upset with that outcome.
No, you're not. And I mean, look, Bowling Green is deciding right now, do we even contest this point without our tank? I mean, Zach is still alive there. Fran has their Kitsune Rush. The Blizzard coming out from Fresh here early on just to try to deny Oops All Vibes from even getting onto the point here. They will get almost 75% capped up before you see the contest come out. Coalescence coming out from Kira as well. Bowling Green just trying to get something back on this point, but they're struggling to find anything early on. Here's the Blade coming out from Joker. Jimbo finds one. Now they deflect as well. Joker not going to find anything with the Blade here. Zach highly charged at the moment, but Bowling Green does take the point, and it's just going to be a fallback here for Oops All Vibes.
And I mean, another great fight coming out from BGSU right there. Oops All Vibes does manage to hold on to their Kitsune Rush. Strider has that Deadeye once again. Probably just going to mostly be a zoning tool as Deadeye tends to be. But BGSU coming up on the Rampage and potentially their sound barrier as well in this next fight, depending on how long this fight goes for.
And I mean, Oops All Vibes. I mean, they need to get something going here. There's a Kitsune Rush from Fran. Nice Ice Wall, though, from Fresh. But Strider just walks around it, pops the Deadeye. Not going to be able to find anyone out there. And that is what Bowling Green needs here to get rid of that DPS line for the other side. Rampage ready here for Fatal. Do they invest it in here? But no, they get caught up on the high ground. The grab coming out here from Zach. The beat out from Jimbo. It won't be able to save them from the grab. Oops All Vibes now. Looking like they're going to be able to take the point right back and go and even be able to even up the score here in this map.
I mean, it's just as close a map as the other ones have been so far, to nobody's surprise. Sound barrier does get held on to if you're Oops All Vibes, and that is going to be crucial because BGSU Fatal Turtle does have that Rampage available. And what is this right now? What is this happening right now with Oops All Vibes?
This is certainly a play coming out. Cha-Cha Slide in that backline, throws the pulse bomb, but doesn't get the same value they were getting with it last time around. Now everyone at Oops All Vibes trying to run away. Locke had to invest the beat there just to make sure that everyone could actually get out of that sticky situation.
I mean, yeah, that was certainly a fight that just happened right there. I'm not, and BGSU going to have their Blizzard online here shortly. That's going to be the big key ultimate, I think.
I mean, without the Kiriko on the other side, you can play a little bit easier now, though. I mean, Kira does have Coalescence. Fatal, though, popping off when they absolutely need them to here. Finding Strider. There's that Blizzard coming out there, but again, no one being frozen up by it. Instead, it's Fatal finding three. Fresh does find one right there, and Kira will clean it up. Bowling Green caps this point here first after what was a tough second point.
No, absolutely. And just having their ultimates online first there was really key for them. And Kira managing to hold on to that Coalescence means you're probably going to see a Coalescence engage and just see, BGSU able to just kind of full send it as hard as they want to into the backline of Oops All Vibes.
I think this time around, Kira Wolf's going to use that Coalescence as something to really try to keep everyone alive in this fight. Joker, though, taken out here early on, might change that a little bit here. They might now use it very offensively. Deadeye ready for Strider, but right now they're focusing in on Fatal. And one thing you do not want to do, it's one thing that Bowling Green has known very well this entire map. Don't let these DPS get hot. Don't let Strider get hot. Right there, they find two. Fran and Zach cleaning up, and Oops All Vibes takes the point.
I mean, all things considered, if you're BGSU, that could have went much worse. You at least didn't use any ultimates while losing the fight. So now we're kind of looking at a relatively even fight, I would say. You still got the Coalescence online versus basically a Kitsune Rush. And now you're kind of at the point where you almost have to play it aggressively, and it'll help you build up the rest of your ultimates to kind of snowball into a massive ult fight.
Yeah, I mean, Bowling Green will have a very late ult advantage here. Oops All Vibes does have 3 ready to go here. There's the Coalescence coming out. They need to find some blood here, but the Pulse Bomb on the ground, not going to be able to find anyone there. No ultimates being used outside of that right there. Kira will find one as that Coalescence fade away. Fatal just kind of swinging for whatever they can find there. Doesn't find anyone right there. Fresh will be able to shade out Cha-Cha Slide, so they get rid of that Tracer pressure from that backline. Zach does have the grab ready to go here. Might try to use it here to counter out a grab. Not going to be able to use it just yet, though. Strider pops the Deadeye, gets rid of Fatal. That's not who you want to lose if you're the Falcons. And now Strider with 2. Zach will clean up Fresh. And I mean, this is going to be this point going over to Oops All Vibes on map point, on series point.
Oh, and I mean, I'm really just surprised more ultimates didn't get used from both sides, quite frankly. But that kind of just leaves them to this next fight. Honestly, you know, dueling beats. And then there's going to be a Grav and a Kitsune Rush available for Oops All Vibes. And then for the side of BGSU, they have this Blizzard again. Fresh really needs to try and catch somebody out with this Blizzard. A lot of them have just been kind of, going awry for the most part.
Going awry, or they've been used for zoning tools and they just haven't really worked out that well. Jimbo trying to find the boop right there, not going to be able to find it on anyone just yet. Fran has to use their own Swift Step, but Jimbo finds the double boop. Joker pops the blade. Strider, though, will be able to trade it out there onto 1. Fatal finds Strider out, but this should be a fight that Bowling Green wins here, barring some incredible play coming out from someone.
And that's what you wanted to see if you're BGSU, getting the sound barrier out from the side of Oops All Vibes, but managing to hold on to your own. So you have the tools to win this next fight. It's going to be tough, but you have the ability to win as long as you've got that sound barrier online and it gets used near perfectly, because you're going to have to deal with a Grav and a Kitsune.
And Bowling Green knows that grab is online here. Jimbo is holding on to this beat just to try to make sure their team can survive it. There's the grab. The beat comes out. Fatal, though, nowhere to be found, and they're looking a little bit worse for wear here. Honestly, if they had got caught in that grab, it would have helped them in this fight, but because they weren't, Cha-Cha Slide cleans them up. Now Bowling Green has to kind of play a little bit frantic here without their tank. Jimbo trying to get out dodge, but Cha-Cha Slide falls off the map there. Oops All Vibes going to be able to take the point here. Now Strider's time to shine. 2 picks already for the cast.
Yeah, Strider doing such a great job landing these shots after shot. Does not get the stagger out onto Fresh, so there's going to be a nice regroup from BGSU. But Strider having the Deadeye available, they've done a really good job of just using this to zone and potentially get a kill. Cha-Cha Slide probably trying to get in that back line and go for another stick with this Pulse Bomb.
And they need to find one here. They need to find one desperately. Deadeye coming out from Strider will be able to find Jimbo. Not who you wanted to see fall first right there if you're Bowling Green. And now Fresh can be able to trade out Strider. Pulse Bomb gonna find the stick, but it finds it on the Fatal, who has to just play around corners right here. But Fresh now starting to pop off here for Bowling Green. Finds 2. Joker will be traded out here. Coalescence now from Kira, just trying to keep everyone alive as the Lucio now for Oops All Vibes, just going off with 2 kills of their own here. Fatal will be able to shut down Fran, but Log trying to do their best on point, but that orb right there going to be able to take them out. And once you get rid of Cha-Cha Slide, it should be Bowling Green taking the point right back.
Oh, and I mean, great Coalescence usage there from Kira Wolf, managing to keep Fatal Turtle alive just long enough for them to get some kills out. And now you got a Rampage available. No sound barrier available from Oops All Vibes to try and counter it out. So you have to think about the bubbles, and you have to think about the Suzu, but as soon as you do that, you should be able to get a solid Rampage off, or you might just get the kills without it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you don't need to even invest this Rampage. You can hold on to it right now. I mean, this fight is already over. Bowling Green, a fight they desperately needed to go their way, but they get a little bit of a cherry on top there, not investing a single ultimate.
And look at all the ultimates they've got online as a result of it. They got both of their DPS ults in the Rampage. Downside is that Log managed to build up to this sound barrier in time, so now you kind of have to decide, you want to layer these ultimates to try and get the sound barrier out, and then follow up with one of these powerful ones to get a kill with. So you just have to talk about that with your team, which one do you want to use first.
Fresh ice blocking right there was at 1 health. There's the Blizzard coming out. Looks like they're trying to capture anyone they can, but again, it will just be a little bit of a zoning one, but that's not necessarily ever been a good thing here for Bowling Green. Cha-Cha Slide finds one with their pulse bomb, but again, Strider finds an opening pick right there as well. The beat coming out from Log, honestly, it might not have been needed here, as you already see 3-4 members of Bowling Green out. I mean, they had a huge advantage going into that fight, but they ended up losing.
Yeah, they did have an absolute massive advantage. The Blizzard just doesn't really catch anybody again. And we are seeing the Sojourn come out here from Fresh. And, I mean, yeah, that makes sense to me. We have the Jotes comp, basically, and Zach looking for this Grav.
Grav comes out, but I believe it was deflected back into them right there. Joker gonna be able to find one with the blade. Strider finds two already, but can they turn this fight around on their own? The answer should be no here. Joker trying to do what they can. They will eventually take it right back here. One person contesting right now. Cha-Cha Slide to try to stall out as long as they can, it seems.
And with the Tracer, that can last a little bit. You get about 5% extra there. You're not mad at that at all if you're Oops All Vibes. But as soon as that Grav gets deflected, you pretty much have to pull the blade if you're Joker. You got to have the highlight play in that moment. You're like, oh, this is my moment. This is my time. Kira does have the Coalescence online, which is going to be key. We've seen that Coalescence overpower the Kitsune Rush in a lot of these fights so far.
And Kira not afraid to pop it early here as a little bit of an offensive play. And honestly, it's exactly what they're going to do. They hear that Kitsune Rush come out from the other side, pop the Coalescence. This time, though, it looks like it's going to be more of a support one, trying to keep everyone alive and kicking, but it's not just going to be enough here. You lose your DPS line. You're going to see Fatal at least trade out Zach, but you lose your other support. These two members of Bowling Green are now fighting essentially for the series here. You do see Kira Fatal doing a really good job. They're getting rid of Log, but they have to deal with Strider. Pulse Bomb out from Cha-Cha. Not going to be able to find anyone that time around. And Bowling Green, these two members are doing their best here just to stop it, but you lose Kira. You do see the Cavalry coming back here, though, for the Falcons. They should be able to sustain.
And Fatal getting close on this ultimate. Fresh getting the kill on the Cha-Cha Slide is going to be absolutely massive. Almost has the Rampage, and they're probably going to go for it here.
Deadeye coming out here. They pop the Rampage, but it gets Suzu'd out. Cleanse. Nothing comes from it right there. Fatal will find Fran, but now again, Fatal, 1 health and a dream, but it's a nightmare here. Now you see Kira trying to do their best. Jimbo, these two have to basically play for this fight here. Stall out as long as you can, but once you see them fall, honestly, the rest of Bowling Green probably should just wait and see. They have one more opportunity here, but no ultimates on either side, really.
One more fight. The only thing upcoming is that sound barrier from Log. That's the only thing that's really even close for either side, for that matter. And that could be the deciding ultimate for Oops All Vibes, depending on how this fight goes.
They get the touch. Overtime force. Fresh will be able to find Log there, so no beat now ready for Oops All Vibes. Jimbo finds Fran. This is going exactly how Bowling Green wanted it to go. They get rid of Zach. They can see it now. They definitely can. Getting rid of Strider. Now Cha-Cha taken out. No one for Oops All Vibes should be able to get back in time. And Bowling Green, they win the key fight they needed here to extend the map, to extend the series to a map 5.
I mean, yeah. The one kill, the only kill that could not happen if you were Oops All Vibes, is the exact kill that happened in that last fight. Log was the only person that could not go down before that sound barrier came online, and that is exactly what happened. Great job and recognition from BGSU, realizing that was their way to win that map, was to take down Log as early as possible.
And again, I'm going to touch on it here. One fight, every map, every individual point, if you go all the way back to Nepal, goes the other way. Probably we're seeing a little bit of a different score line here. Maybe the series is over, or maybe we're at the same point we are right now, but just a little bit of a different story. Bowling Green keeps the series alive with that victory right there. And now, I mean, heading into what could be our final map of the night, I believe it was Circuit Royale here.
Mm-hmm.
This could be the time where we were talking about that Soj ban coming out here, but if you are Oops All Vibes, you will have the first ban, so you might be able to protect ban it if you want it. But,
yeah.
But we're going to give the teams a little bit of a break there after those two maps. They were very much back and forth, but everyone stick around. You don't see a lot of map 5s, but you're seeing one tonight. We'll be right back with our final map.
Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours.
All right. right, everybody. You don't see these a lot, especially in the regular season, but we have ourselves a Map 5 to start off Week 5 here. Bowling Green and Oops All Vibes, man, they have gone back and forth and back and forth. And like we said before we went to break, one fight going another way here. This series might be over, or it might be right where we are right now with a little bit of a different twist. Shadow, this has been a great back and forth series here for these two teams.
No, these teams are back and forth, fight by fight by fight. I think every single map has been one fight territory. So, like, this has got to be one of the closest series I've ever seen, honestly. Just with the, the distance between these teams very, very small. And so now going into map number 5, I think these bans are going to be very, very key here going on to Circuit Royale.
And we talked about it here. This is definitely a map where we would expect to see a Sojourn ban since, it's definitely been a little bit of a strong suit for both teams. Oops All Vibes and Strider, though, on that Soj is absolutely scary. But we just saw last map, the cast is definitely an option that you might have to consider banning out as well, especially with this being a very, very poke-heavy map. But Oops All Vibes, losing that last map there, will get the first ban here. So a big ban for them.
I really think, I could be thinking too hard about this. Lucio might be a good pick here because I think BGSU is going to try and force that queen no matter what. And so if you have to run like a Juno or something with the queen, something that's less, perfect to run with the queen. Okay, we're seeing the Mercy ban. I can't say I expected that one.
I don't hate it. Hero has done really good on the Mercy all night long. The reses that they've been able to get have been really good. The first two maps, the Mercy play, I think really did help Bowling Green stay in and win a lot of fights here. But now Bowling Green, you have your opportunity here if you want to ban out that Soj or even potentially a Cassidy.
You could ban a Soj, you could ban a Cass. I think even an Ashe would be really good here. Ashe is incredibly strong on this map. But Soj, pick the character you see Strider do the most on this entire series. That makes complete sense to me. You would opt for that. And so we're seeing Mercy and Sojourn get banned out here for Circuit Royale.
And funny enough, like a lot of the times when you see Mercy be banned, it's mostly as a protection ban. But this time around, I think this ban has a lot of merit behind it. It's not a protection ban for them. Bowling Green doing the same thing. This is not a protection ban, not in the slightest. This is a smart ban coming out from them here. Both these teams are going to put on a show here in this final map, but we do have some subs. I believe for both teams, we have subs. Starting off here, though, with Oops All Vibes, you're going to see Biscuit coming back in here for Log.
Yeah, and with Biscuit coming back in, they might be trying to run like a double flex comp, like go like a Bap Zen, maybe even an Ana Zen. I've seen a good bit of that lately. They could be going for something to that effect with that Sigma-based composition. Teams really like to run that Sigma poke on Circuit Royale, so that would not surprise me if that's sort of the idea here, swapping out Log and Biscuit.
Yeah, but on to the other side. Bowling Green making a sub here. Barbecue Chicken coming back in here for Jimbo. And Jimbo's normally been playing a lot of those speedy kind of supports here. So Barbecue Chicken come back in. You might be seeing the Ana full-time. Kira Wolf, though, like we said, the Mercy ban might have been targeted, and this might have been a really good map to actually ban out the Mercy.
I'm remembering them playing a Juno Moira at some point on one of these maps. So maybe that's the answer here. Potentially, since we saw Jimbo mostly play the Lucio, and I do think BGSU is still going to try and force their Queen comp in a rush style, so I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that Juno Moira come out again.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe when we saw that Juno Moira comp is all the way back on the Paul, and it worked out very, very well for them here. Hello, Ducky. But now, heading into our fifth and potentially final map of the night. Hell, you can draw an escort map. Very rarely, but coming out of the gate, Sigmas for both sides.
Yeah, we are going to see the Sigmas come out. This is like the Sigma map, Circuit Royale, so I am still surprised to see BGSU run out on it, though. They seemed really hesitant to play things besides their Junker Queen comp. But going for the Ana and Kiriko along with it, which is an interesting combination of supports. I can't say I expected that, but double hit scan as well. And Oops All Vibes, Cha-Cha Slide going to be coming out on that Pharah. So I think they're going to have a difficult time getting that space that they need in order to, not just get tapped out of the air. There's a lot of characters on the side of BGSU that can just really deal with a Pharah.
Yeah, and I mean, Cha-Cha Slide has not been afraid to make those swaps very fast here. Strider does land the shot there, but they get a couple shots landed on them as well. 27 health at the moment. Gotta just play safe here. But I mean, right now, BGSU doing exactly what you want them to do here. They're just kind of buying some space, trying to find an early pick here.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you really want to do with this poke comp. Fresh taking down Biscuit, though, is probably going to be the go sign for BGSU.
Strider, though, will be able to swap out onto Fresh right there. So Oops All Vibes will be able to kind of keep this push going here for the moment, especially with everyone on that in that kind of corner there on the stairwell. It might allow Cha-Cha Slide to find a lot of value here. You already see the Suzu being invested there by Kira just to keep themselves alive. But Strider, again, this has been a player we've been talking about all night long. You do not want them getting hot because they'll land headshot after headshot.
Yeah, I mean, look, they've already got the infrasights, already popped them as well. That's how you can tell they're just landing an absurd amount of shots on this Widowmaker. This is a crazy good Widowmaker map. Oh, nice shot, Strider.
And that's going to basically guarantee them first point right there. Fatal making that swap right back over to the Winston. I like the swap here. Not a lot of time lost. Still have 5 minutes on the second point push, but this is one of the harder points to actually push on in any of the escort maps, in my opinion.
It is. It's very easy to stall out here, but with you having the Winston, you don't really have the follow-up with the Winston on the DPS line. You have a couple of hit scans, nice shots coming out there from Fresh to take down Cha-Cha Slide, but it's still going to be tough to really get that high level of value on the Winston.
Grapple shot coming out there from Strider. Fresh, though, will get the better of it this time, and Bowling Green getting that stall out that you were looking for right there. Oops All Vibes. I mean, you might see a swap or two, as you already see Cha-Cha swapping as well. And hey, there goes two of their other teammates making swaps as well.
Yeah, we see the Diva come out immediately. One fight, and it's just, no, we're not dealing with this. Immediate swap over to the Diva. And from BGSU, they have both of their support ultimates online, but Biscuit going down early is not good if you're Oops All Vibes.
And now Fran looking a little bit worse for wear here as well. 1 health and a dream, but Fresh going to be able to find them out yet again. Dive in there from Fatal, trying to get rid of Strider. Strider, though, going to be able to keep themselves alive there with a lot of help from Zach. Zach finds Fatal. That will force Bowling Green here to fall back, but, I mean, Oops All Vibes has to fall back as well, especially with Zach losing their mech.
Getting Zach out of mech is big time. It's going to give Fatal Turtle enough time to really get back with their team. We are seeing Zach immediately swap back over to the Sigma, though. They must just like the poke comp a little bit better than the Diva. And still a lot of ults online for BGSU. Joker taking down Strider, though, is not what you want to see if you're Oops All Vibes.
But it's exactly what you want to see if you're Bowling Green. Strider has been the biggest problem to you all night long. That support line gone off the face of the earth here. And Bowling Green doing a very good job here. Like you said, this is a very stallable point here if you're the attacking team, if you do not push it up this hill fast enough.
Well, and that's the tough part right now, right? You have Fresh just kind of sitting on this high ground as this Ashe. If Fresh is not like taken off of this high ground, they're going to eventually land a dynamite on your backline, and all that little chip damage is all Fatal Turtle needs to be able to get kills on that Winston. It's almost like having a Tracer poking back there. You just have dynamite damage constantly burning somebody.
Speaking of dynamite damage, it's constantly burning Biscuit here at the moment. Fran, though, going to be able to keep them supported, but look at Bowling Green. 5 ultimates. There's the first one invested out here on the Fatal, and they're just trying to get rid of Strider. I don't hate this play, but, I mean, it's allowing the rest of Oops All Vibes to kind of attack and push this card up a little bit here. Now, though, you're going to see him come back in, getting rid of Strider. The stall is back out on the cart, and look, that DPS line for Bowling Green is now starting to come alive when you needed them the most.
And yeah, I mean, getting Strider out just gives your team so much space to work with. You don't have to be worried about getting randomly headshot by a Widowmaker halfway across the map anymore. So like you said, just investing that nano into doing that alone. And now look, Cha-Cha Slide has swapped over to the Reaper because Fatal is just doing too much on this Winston right now in controlling this high ground and controlling the space that Strider can take.
And Strider just trying to find any angle they can, but Fresh doing a good enough job, and everyone else on Bowling Green just being smart enough not to poke their head. Dynamite being landed there yet again onto, it only seems like Cha-Cha Slide. Cha-Cha Slide immediately get a teleport into that backline, forcing out the jump there from Fatal Turtle. Bob out from Fresh, and it's in a very good spot right there. Gonna be put to sleep though for the moment. Dynamite comes out. I believe it lands on the 2 or 3 members right there. 2 ultimates now being invested here by Bowling Green. Bob and that Primal Rage. You see Barbecue Chicken trying to just keep Fatal up as long as they can, but Joker maybe went a little bit too far there. Strider gonna be able to find them, but I don't really think it will help out Oops All Vibes in this fight.
No, it won't, especially with Fresh getting that kill onto Strider as well. And Zach does manage to get out with about 15 HP right there, so that's big time value from the Sigma. And if you're BGSU, you do still have the Kitsune Rush, which could be enough to kind of overpower the front line of Oops All Vibes. You just got to make sure Strider doesn't pick anybody off with this Widow.
I mean, Zach has this Flux ready to go here. That could be something that really disrupts a lot of what Bowling Green wants to do. There's that dive. There's a Dynamite as well, but Fatal immediately antied up. Fatal gonna be able to get back, but oh! They jumped right into a boulder. Not how you want to go, but if you are Bowling Green, at least Oops All Vibes just invested their 2 ultimates.
No, absolutely. And with how far the cart still has to go, you're still going to have another fight if you're BGSU. And here comes the Junker Queen, just in time to try and contest this last bit of point number 2. You're still going to want to watch for Cha-Cha Slide's ultimate, though. This Death Blossom could be massive if they're not careful.
Creation coming out there, not going to be able to land on anyone there. It's a Kitsune Rush out from Kira. You see Cha-Cha Slide going in for the Death Blossom. It's in that backline, but it's struggling to find anyone. You want to know why? Because they were put to sleep. Strider will find one, but now it's a tough battle. Strider, though, going to be able to find Fresh out as well. Joker will be able to take them out, and once you get rid of Zach, that 5-minute time bank that Oops All Vibes had after that first point, gone. You won't even get to the second point.
Oh, and I mean, what a great swap onto that dive comp from BGSU. Fatal just laying down that extra pressure onto Strider really just opened up the map for Fresh to really kind of take over on that Ash. Fresh and Mr. Joker both, honestly, to really take over the map. That DPS line was doing so much work when they didn't have to worry about the Widow halfway across the map one-shotting them.
Yeah, and I mean, that was the biggest thing. The biggest difference that round was Bowling Green's DPS line kind of matching what Oops All Vibes was doing. And they were shutting down Strider, and you saw the impact of Strider having an off round there. I mean, Bowling Green was able to play angles better than what they had been all night long. Mm-hmm. And Bowling Green now in the driver's seat here to win this map and win their first series of the season.
First point of Circuit Royale is no easy task, though, and then they still have to get about 3/4 of the way through point number 2. So it is still going to be very, very difficult for them to cross all this. It's going to be difficult for them to cross all this space with the Junker Queen without losing somebody to poke damage. I think that's the real key. If they can actually make it to Oops All Vibes core, they'll be able to take somebody out, but it's just a matter of if they can actually make it there without losing somebody.
What do you think about this Torb pick coming out from Cha-Cha?
I actually do like it. Torb really strong right now, especially when I like level 3 turret personally, but you can go for the turret that just sticks onto the walls, whichever one's more your flavor, but just an absurd amount of damage that can come out from that character right now as well.
Fresh trying to get in position here. Seeing them on the Widowmaker, not going to be able to land that first shot on the Strider, and we're getting a pause here. Fortunate pause for one of these teams here. Don't know who, but yeah, so it looks like there's a DC on the side of, I believe it is Oops All Vibes. No, I believe it's Bowling Green. Bowling Green having a DC here, so the auto pause came in right there, but hey, better to auto pause at the start of a round than in the middle of what could be the final team fight.
Yeah, and I mean, it is, like you said, it's the very first fight. They really kind of just started looking at each other. You're not really losing any ult charge or anything like that, so it's not too detrimental to you. And we're kind of just going to see those 2 Widows just look at each other for a little while. And in the meantime, it's really going to be up to Fatal Turtle to really traverse all of this space that there is on Circuit Royale without taking too much damage before they make it where they're trying to go.
I mean, it really all comes down to, can that DPS line for Bowling Green kind of keep up that pace they were doing in that first round right there. If they find those picks, it'll allow Fatal Turtle to play a little bit more freely, allow him to be a little bit more aggressively on that Jungle Queen, because that's how they've found a lot of value and a lot of success with the Queen here tonight, is being able to play really, really aggressively into that Oops All Vibes kind of backline, who doesn't want to play as aggressively as you would imagine.
No. Surprisingly, yeah, they're playing a little bit further back, like you said. And then with the poke comp in particular, that's kind of how you're going to want to play. Just give up as much space as you can and just kind of try and poke them out and get the kills with just the pure spam damage you have from range. And I don't. This first fight's really going to tell me a lot. You know, if it's just an immediate fight win for BGSU, that's going to be tough for Oops All Vibes to recover from. But if you start snowballing the fight, if you're Oops All Vibes, this first point can be very, very oppressive trying to go into a poke composition.
And it could be something a lot like what we saw in Hollywood. I mean, Oops All Vibes came out with a little bit of a different comp, easily won that first fight, won that first point, gave themselves a lot of time to push it to that golden box of victory that they had halfway through point 2. But I mean, you have to remember how much time Oops All Vibes had after capping first point here on Circle Royale. They had about 5 minutes. I mean, Bowling Green, they did a really, really good job on that defense there, just to stop the bleeding, and really did a good job just stopping everything. But looks like we're back into the game here.
And here we are, Fresh, just kind of looking for these angles right now on this Widowmaker, seeing if they can get an early kill onto somebody.
Ooh, gonna take a rivet there to the head, gonna force him to fall back. And I mean, Cha-Cha Slide, looks like they're just gonna kind of be a little bit of playing the turret here. Fresh will get rid of it here for the moment, but look, that kind of distraction that Fresh provides there allows Fatal Turtle to get very aggressively. Their barbecue chicken, maybe getting a little bit too aggressive on the Kiri, but Fresh just needed an opening to find Strider out, looking for another one right now. The grass going to be able to keep Zach alive, but now you see Bowling Green coming back in, playing aggressively around their tank and winning the team fight out here. Once you get rid of Zach, I mean, it could be exactly what we saw Bowling Green do on the first point here. Defense, just not even try to contest.
I mean, that's exactly what you wanted to see if you're BGSU. And the Bastion is back out from Strider and Oops All Vibes. But, I mean, you have Mr. Joker here still on this Genji, and that deflect can be huge when trying to go up against the Bastion.
Does Oops All Vibes get a touch here? No, they're gonna, no, the last second touch right there. And look, you see Fatal Turtle all the way up there. Now they have to turn around, getting rid of Cha-Cha Slide here. It's interesting to see Cha-Cha go over to that Cassidy, since we saw Strider do a very good job on it. Fresh gonna be able to find Biscuit out here, but Zach gets demeched. So this should be the first point going over to Bowling Green. And because of these last couple staggers here, Oops All Vibes are gonna have to let this cart get pushed halfway up the hill.
Oh, yeah, no. If you're the side of BGSU, I think you should probably just play almost up at this next point spawn door. Just leave one on cart and play up, because you have the rampage right now if you're Fatal Turtle. If you can get this Suzu out, you can get a massive rampage off.
Strider going over to the Tracer now. The Bastion, not necessarily the right play from Joker. Has to just dash out of there just to keep themselves alive. Zach goes charging in. There's the Rampage, but it's only onto Zach. But they want to get rid of this tank bad, and that's exactly what they're going to be able to do there. No nice land there, but still, Bowling Green pushing this cart at a breakneck pace. Zach's trying to song out as long as it can. Here comes the blade. Not going to be put to sleep this time. Joker with one already. Fatal finds the second one there. Joker with 3. Kira finds the 4th. There's the team kill, and I don't think Oops All Vibes are going to be able to get back out here in time.
I don't think they are either, but even if they do, Kira Wolf has a coalescence if they decide to.
Coalescence going to come out, but it's not going to necessarily matter. Bowling Green takes their first series of the season. Oops All Vibes. Again, this was a close series, and these two teams, I feel like, are going to have a lot of success in their future, but finally, Bowling Green can celebrate tonight.
No, absolutely, and it's well earned as well. Just doing a great job, quite frankly, on Circuit Royale of all maps, of just playing this dive and really shutting down Strider, who was not able to be contained for the entirety of the other 4 maps, quite honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Strider was the one person that we kind of talked about coming in this map that Bowling Green really needed to shut down. And with the Soj ban coming out, I mean, it definitely did affect them. But still, they had their moments. But the biggest difference, in my opinion, was Fresh this map for Bowling Green. Just being able to slow down Strider, force them to play heroes that maybe they weren't necessarily comfortable with. It worked out great there for them in Bowling Green. They took the map that they desperately needed there. They finally have a win in that win column.
And I mean, this is where it starts for you, you know, uphill from here. Let's take this win and try and snowball it into some more wins, get to looking positive before the playoffs come around in a few weeks.
Yep, absolutely. But everyone, we're going to throw it to a quick break, and then we'll be right back with an interview with someone from Bowling Green. Everyone, stick around. You're not going to want to miss that. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the booth. We are pleased to be joined by Fresh from Bowling Green. Man, hey, congratulations on the first victory of your season here. I imagine there's a huge sigh of relief with everyone there on your team.
Oh yeah, it was a great win. Super energetic here.
All right, awesome. Well, I guess I'll just start it off then. What is it that you think makes you all so strong on the Junker Queen composition in particular? Because it just seemed like anytime y'all were on that comp, y'all were just absolutely rolling.
Yeah, the Junker Queen comp is a comp we've been playing last season and this season, and it's been really strong for us just being able to play that death ball kind of comp and just be able to punish someone whenever they get out of position. So it's been pretty helpful for us because it's kind of a comp that we have as a comfort that we can go to and we know we're strong in.
All right, and then just kind of adding to that on the last map, Circuit Royale, what do you think like the big difference maker was on that map? Because it seemed like y'all just finally were completely shutting down Strider there. What do you think prompted that?
I think it was the mix of just having that dive on them and putting that pressure in the front and being able to have our back line just be able to get picks off. I feel like that was the real decider, was just being able to distract them in the front and then be able to have someone on the side getting an off angle.
Yeah, I mean, you made a big difference yourself. The rest of your team made a huge difference. Like you said, that kind of dive comp really did give them a lot of problems there. But hey, I already mentioned it. First win of the season. It has to get the monkey off your back now. 3 more weeks to go here. Do we see a Bowling Green team make a run here and go 4-4 and go into the playoffs on a hot streak?
We're very confident that if we just stick to it, we're able to tough it out. And I think personally, the team, we got a pretty new team. Dropped a couple people, but brought more people in, and I think this year we have a pretty good chance on also making the playoffs again.
All right. Hey, I think with your performance here tonight, especially with how your schedule looks, you have a good chance of sweeping this second half here and being one of those stronger teams going into the playoffs if you guys do that. But hey, Fresh, before we let you go here for the night, we want to give you the floor to shout out anyone or anything you want, man.
I just want to shout out my captains. They've been doing everything really great, just helping people who haven't really been in this kind of climate before kind of get comfortable and make it just like a big old family. I want to thank all my team. Everybody's been doing really great out there, and I'm glad for all the new people. They're able to stick their feet in the water and kind of just push off and not really need much help.
Yeah, man. Hey, absolutely. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your night to come do this interview. We'll let you go and celebrate this victory with your team here, man. It was a well-deserved one as well. Again, that was Fresh, everyone from Bowling Green, man. Hey, congratulations again, and have a great night, man.
All right, thank you. You too. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks.
All right, Shadow. I mean, this was an incredible series here. Went the distance, and I mean, really, it goes back to everything we were saying throughout this entire series. One fight goes a different way here. We could be looking at a different outcome, but Bowling Green, the fact that they went second there on that map, I think really helped them out.
No, it absolutely did. Like having the first defense, that is honestly where you want to be at towards the end of the game anyways, gives you confidence, gives you the yellow box of victory, as we always talk about, and just having that having that in your sights and knowing that you like to play this aggressive comp that just kind of pushes into people, it just made them really, really strong on that last map.
Yeah, absolutely. But oops, all vibes. Falls to 0-5 now, but the way they performed tonight, they don't look like a team that doesn't have a win. I think they are one of those teams that will also, after this week, kind of go on a little bit of a hot streak here, much like they did last season, especially with how they played here tonight. Strider has to be someone that everyone knows in this tier. If they take over a game, they can absolutely take over an entire series.
No, absolutely. Like you said, Strider was just hitting shot after shot after shot, and they just kind of ran out of gas. They finally got stopped on map number 5, but otherwise strong performance from them still on every map.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been fun to see maybe that swap that they had there on Esperanza again come back out on Circle Royale. That ball comp really did give Bowling Green a lot of trouble, but again, I think they made the right picks there heading into that final map. Just weren't able to come out on top. But everyone, that will do it for us here tonight at CGL. Just want to give a quick shout to everyone behind the scene of Headrammer and Hippie for doing everything getting all the angles so you guys could watch everything you saw here tonight. Shadow, thank you as well. And thank you to everyone for coming out. Make sure you tune back in tomorrow, where I believe we will have a full day of CGL action, 1 EU game and 1 NA game. You're not going to want to miss that. But until then, see you tomorrow and hope you have a great night.